Welcome to the virtual campus tour for Loma Linda University School of Medicine. We have been in existence for more than 111 years, and we've graduated more than 11,000 graduates. The most unique thing about us, I believe, is that all of those 11,000 plus graduates are committed to the same mission. Those 100 years ago and those today. I think that's something that's unique and special. What we would really like to do is create graduates that contribute to the world and make it a better place. And they can do that by becoming lifelong learners, by becoming excellent clinicians, by being a productive and vital member of society and staying well themselves, and then to contribute service to a world around you. So welcome to the campus tour. We hope you enjoy it. And as you're going out and looking at medical schools, look at the environment that you'll be learning knowledge, skills, and look for ways that you can contribute to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Gabriel, and I'm a third-year medical student here at Loma Linda University. And we're sorry that you couldn't be here with us today, but I'm really excited to take you around campus virtually, and hopefully you have a lot of fun still. All right, welcome to the PDX lab. I'm here with Jenny. She's a fourth-year medical student. And Jenny, can you tell us a little bit about what we do in the clinical skills lab and kind of what things carry over into the clinical years?
Yeah, definitely. So this is the PDX lab, or the Clinical Skills Center. This is where, as a medical student, you're going to start learning all those hands-on, fun clinical skills. You actually first get introduced to this center when you're a first-year medical student. You'll start learning like the cardiac exam, the pulmonary exam, and pretty much any other exam you can think of. You work here with fellow students, you work with other instructors, you might even use our friend Harvey here and do like a group demonstration. So that's kind of essentially what happens here. Yeah,
when Harvey here is equipped to listen to heart sounds, or you can feel pulses. Yep. And listen to breath sounds. It's a really helpful model. Mm-hmm. And then can you tell us a little about what like an OSCE is, or when we come in and we're not practicing on each other, who do we practice on?
Great. So each year you have something called an OSCE, and essentially it's a test, but it's testing those clinical skills that you probably learned in here with friends or faculty. And you'll know beforehand kind of what's being tested, but it's kind of like a setup clinical interaction. You might have standardized patients who are paid to be here, and you'll walk through like you're the physician, kind of going through both a history and a physical exam.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so you just finished a master's in public health. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What was that journey like? And was it an easy transition?
Definitely. So I did my first 3 years of medical school, and I just recently took a year out to do a master's of public health here. That was kind of to pursue like another interest of mine, and then also to make sure I match with my husband, who's also in the class below me. It was really fun. It was a great way to transition. Loma Linda offers like lots of opportunities for you to explore your interests, and now I'm transitioning back to medical school in my fourth year.
Awesome. And then what was it that you wanted to do again? What specialty are you interested in?
So I'm interested in obstetrics and gynecology.
Nice, and why?
I love this specialty because I have a passion for women's health and reproductive rights. That's also why I got the MPH. And I love this specialty because it's kind of a mixture of a bunch of specialties. You get a bit of emergency medicine when they send your pregnant patients up to triage. You get a bit of clinical medicine because you have patient interactions in outpatient clinic. You also are a surgeon, so you get to go ahead and do surgery. So I loved that I got to focus on women's health and also get my hand in a bit of each specialty, it felt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what, something that future students might want to know, what kinds of things can you do around here to get involved, to pursue those interests in women's health or public health, mm-hmm. community health, things like that?
Something that's awesome about Loma Linda is there's already kind of established paths for you, either to do community service that are really easy to join if you're interested in tutoring, if you're interested in San Bernardino youth, if you're interested like me in maternal health. There's programs to like mentor pregnant teens. So there's kind of already established things for you to get into. There's also a couple links the school already has for you to pursue master's degrees somewhere in your medical career if that seems to gain your interest. And then the Loma Linda University at large has a lot of those other graduate programs, so you can kind of stay local if that's something you want to pursue.
And Jenny, what types of technology do we have here that kind of aid you in pursuing clinical medicine?
Yeah, there's lots of fun things that you'll kind of get exposed to as you progress through medical school. Harvey right here is a great example. Like we mentioned earlier, this is like a fake patient, but the instructor can kind of program Harvey to have all different sorts of conditions, different cardiac or heart conditions, different lung or pulmonary conditions, and you in kind of a safe environment and technology controlled can kind of experience each of those maladies. Also, when we go into one of these rooms, you'll be able to kind of see all the clinical tools that they already have for you that you are welcome to practice with.
Now Jenny and I are in one of the exam rooms. Jenny, can you tell us what happens in here and kind of what these are used for?
Yeah, so we're still in the Clinical Skills Center. We've just walked kind of through the hallway and now into one of these practice clinical rooms. You'll get very familiar with rooms that look like this through your medical school career. Essentially, these are the rooms I was talking about. This is where you're going to learn a lot of these exams. You're going to come here and study with your classmates. You're going to work with physicians and instructors. And it kind of mimics exactly a doctor's office, as you'll probably notice. And we have different tools here. So first there's the bed that you'll be on while you're working with a friend, or maybe a standardized patient would be on. Other tools we have in here is this ultrasound that's really fun to work with. You'll get to learn how to do all different sorts of scans. And then up on this wall over here is a lot of the clinical tools that you'll be able to use. So we have something right here to take blood pressure. We have something here to look in patients' eyes, and then we also have something to look in their ears. So this is kind of set up exactly like a doctor's office, and this is going to be a place that you're going to practice your clinical skills.
And then you were saying you can practice with friends. So let's say I have an OSCE coming up and I don't feel super confident about my ultrasounding skill. What can I do?
Yeah, that would actually be a super common situation. So it's not like free-for-all. You can't come in here whenever you want, but you can make appointments and reserve rooms, and pretty much they'll work with your schedule in the hours that the clinical skills is open. I did it multiple times with friends and classmates just in order to be prepared.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then so you said it's like set up like a doctor's office. So when you have an OSCE, you come in here and like, what is the dynamic?
Yeah, so an OSCE, right, we're talking about a test. So essentially you'll be on the outside of this room, you'll hear someone tell you it's okay to enter, you'll knock, you'll enter, and there'll be a standardized patient here. So this is someone who's not your classmate. This is someone who's hired and they have like a script or an illness that they're working through, and you are acting as the attending physician. So you'll come in, you'll sit down, you'll partner with them, and you'll get your history, and then you usually get up, wash your hands, and you'll do whatever physical exam you think is appropriate. Then usually a timer goes off, you leave the room, and you write a note.
And then how do you learn from that experience?
Yeah, great. So those OSCEs are reviewed by faculty who are also physicians, and they give you feedback kind of on your clinical accuracy. And then you also receive feedback from the standardized patient, kind of how empathetic you are, how well you partnered with them, and more like personal attributes feedback.
And then it's recorded so you can review that too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you also review yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Life Communities is a new program at Loma Linda for our medical students that really gives them a guide along the side as they go through their journey to becoming a physician. Each student, as they matriculate into Loma Linda, are assigned a life community group. This is a group of 9 other students that they will stay together and learn with each other for 4 years. And each group is led by a clinical faculty, someone who cares about students, who is currently practicing medicine. Life Communities is really 2 parts. It's mentorship, one-on-one, so that clinical faculty will meet with that student at least a couple times a year to check in on various things that are concerning to the student, as well as coaching them on things that we think are important that they should be learning as they become a physician.
So Life Community is all about trying to find a time for you to connect with your peers and a few things. You get support from them by being able to communicate with the challenges of what it's like to be in medical school. And at the same time, we also connect with people in the classes above us. And with that, we are able to learn skills or ideas or study strategies from them so that we can better plan for our future and learn more from maybe their mistakes or what they succeeded in. And at the same time, we also get the opportunity to connect with a staff member, and this staff member is someone who's really passionate about students, somebody who wants to try to help them succeed to the best of their ability, but also give them a place where they can just feel safe, have someone to talk to, and maybe give them advice about what it's like to be in a professional setting as a doctor in the future.
So Life Communities is really enjoyable. It's one of the main reasons why I came back to Loma Linda University was to be involved with medical students, showing them in the best way I can how to be a compassionate, caring, learning physician. Several physicians were that way for me when I was going through medical school here at Loma Linda, and I always admired those and wanted to emulate that and do more for those who come following after me.
The adjustment from just regular undergrad to med school is really difficult, and having classmates who are with you going through the same thing, kind of being there to support you, means a lot. So I really appreciate my life community a lot.
Studies have shown, and we know it intrinsically, this is what really the art of medicine is learning professionalism, learning how to relate to your patients, learning compassion, learning, how to balance your life, how to deal with tough situations, how to avoid burnout, all of the things that you don't learn in a textbook. Before, we've kind of relied on this underground curriculum, you find somebody whose life you want to emulate and you try and learn from that. But this is a formal way to say, no, this is important. Another thing I like about Life Communities is it gives me time to think about it and talk about it and acknowledge the importance that these subjects have.
Dr. Hart is incredible. She is she's kind of like a second mother to a lot of us. She really cares for us. She texts us, she emails us just to kind of check up how we're doing. She encourages us to come meet with her even though we don't have to. She just wants to know how we're doing. After every test cycle, she'll send us little emails. How'd you guys do? Did you do better than last time? I've been praying for you. And every time we meet, she writes down specific prayer requests that we have. And she says that she prays for us by name on a daily basis, which is really nice.
What I like about my life community group is we know we have each other's backs, whether that's like, oh, there's like this quiz in class and someone might not be in class, we'll just send a group text and be like, hey, log on to Canvas, you need to take this quiz.
Life community gives me a sense of belonging. As an immigrant, I migrated from Ghana. Yeah, but I thank God for my life community group because it makes me feel home. It gives me the hope that I'm not here by myself. I'm not isolated. I have members who care for me and are interested in my success.
I so strongly believe in mentorship. I wouldn't be where I am right now as a pediatric attending here at Loma Linda if it weren't for a lot of mentors that helped guide me to where I am today. So as soon as I heard that there was an opportunity to be a life community mentor and to give back, I just took it. You can't do it yourself. That's why we're all here to help each other out. It's a community. We're here to help each other grow and move on because this is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
It's also part of a curriculum and part of a course called Christian Physician Formation, where they dive into topics such as spiritual formation as a physician, resilience and how to avoid burnout and how to actually work through burnout when you experience it. Understanding social determinants of health in greater depth and specifically how we can engage with our community in service. Also, they learn healthy habits and specifically for themselves. Some of the lifestyle principles that Loma Linda is known for, we're teaching it within life communities in a way that we think will stick better. They have also some social things that they do together, which keeps them unified and connected. They go through their religion curriculum together as a group. and religion faculty from Loma Linda actually help with this journey alongside the physician faculty. So it's really a merging of faith and practice that we want our students to experience.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin Cadornes. I am the Associate Dean for Clinical Education here at Loma Linda University School of Medicine. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit today about the match. One of my jobs as the clinical dean is to help our students get prepared for the match, and that culmination of 4 years of hard work, dedication, some might call it blood, sweat, and tears. And on that morning match day, we all get to be there and present the joyous occasion of opening the match envelopes to find out where a student will be going into to finish off their professional career. We are always very happy year to year with our match rate, and we rank very highly in the upper percentiles every year. Our students choose a very wide variety of different specialties to go into. They range from the very difficult and highly competitive specialties to primary care, which is our highest percentage that students will match into. And in fact, last year, 44% of our students matched into primary care, 18% matched into an internal medicine specialty, 15% matched into a family medicine specialty. And then our surgical subspecialties and surgery in general matched about 13%. And our psych and ER match was about 9% each. 48 students, about 1/3 of our class last year, decided to stay at Loma Linda University, which I think is a testament to the relationships that they built with faculty and administration here at Loma Linda. And another 58% in total stayed in California, which I just think maybe for the weather, who knows, but they loved California and they decided to stay here. However, the students that decide to go away from this beautiful place go to various different institutions across the country, such as esteemed places like the Massachusetts General Hospital, Mayo Clinic Rochester, Oregon Health Science University, Washington University, Cleveland Clinic, just to name a few in the past couple years. As a prospective student of Loma Linda University School of Medicine, we want you to know that we are here for you and we will guide you throughout the journey of medical school to achieve your goals and ambitions. Thank you.
On behalf of Loma Linda University School of Medicine, it is an honor to be standing in front of these incredible state-of-the-art teaching facilities, Loma Linda University Medical Center and Loma Linda University Children's Hospital. For over 113 years, Loma Linda University School of Medicine has been training physicians, and this new medical campus will help us to continue the teaching and healing ministry of Jesus Christ and grow the next generation of diverse physicians and healthcare professionals to serve within our community and across the globe. We are grateful for the opportunity to have these two towers where our medical students, residents, and fellows will gain the knowledge, skills, and values to provide whole person care. Our students will experience their clinical rotations here, participate in research, and apply what they have learned in an integrated environment and in an evolving health system. We celebrate with you this historical moment. Thank you to our alumni, donors, faculty, students, and our community for supporting our vision and mission at Loma Linda University Health as we continue to transform the future of medicine and keep our communities safe and healthy.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariel Fennison. I am a fourth-year medical student graduating in the class of 2022. I'm standing here in front of our brand new hospital building. This new hospital is going to be the tallest building in San Bernardino County. It's 267 feet tall, making it the tallest hospital in the state of California. There are 128 private rooms in our children's hospital, with 320 private rooms in our adult hospital. We're going to have 20 new adult operating rooms and a family lounge on every patient floor. In our children's hospital, there are going to be playrooms on each of the pediatric floors, allowing patients to have a little bit of normalcy while they're here and get to play and meet new patients that are also on the same floor. What's really cool is the pediatric rooms have their choice of color lights for each child to choose from.
The mission of Loma Linda University School of Medicine is to continue the healing and teaching ministry of Jesus. I want to tell you some ways that that mission statement guides specific programs and educational opportunities at Loma Linda. One way is through the opportunities for international mission experience. Loma Linda University School of Medicine is in many ways the hub of a system of Adventist hospitals that numbers over 160, and most of those are in developing countries. So the relationships we have with those hospitals really provide our students a wide variety of places to experience mission service. I want to tell you briefly about our religion curriculum. The first class that students take when they arrive at Loma Linda is one that is team taught with School of Religion faculty members and physicians. We also have a course called God and Human Suffering, which studies the variety of ways that people have explained the problem of what theologians call theodicy, which is how can we have belief in a good God when there's so much injustice and pain in our world. The last class I'll mention specifically is called Whole Person Care. It teaches students effective ways to address spiritual concerns and to minister to the spiritual needs of patients. We don't believe it's appropriate to, as is sometimes said, impose spirituality or religion on patients who are confined to a hospital bed. But we don't believe it's the best medical practice to avoid talking about spiritual things because of fear of doing it inappropriately. Surveys of hospitalized patients show that 77% believe it's appropriate for their physician to address their spiritual life and concerns, and an amazing 48% of patients say that they would like to have their physician pray with them. What we do is to help you know when to do that, when it's appropriate, and that's a class that our students really tell us that they value after they've gone on to residency. I'll mention that we have an active and robust research program for students. Student Affairs Office coordinates a summer research program where approximately 100 students are engaged in various research projects for 8 weeks following their freshman year. I want to, just in closing, say a word about our student organizations. We have active chapters on campus of the Student National Medical Association, the American Medical Student Association, the AMA, and clubs and organizations that have quite a few different areas of focus. One type of organizations are interest groups. We have interest groups for nearly every specialty that you might go into for a residency. We have pediatrics, family medicine, radiology, surgery, plastic surgery, dermatology, and so on. These things that I've described and other aspects of our educational system and our community really work together to create an environment that students for many years have said they value deeply. And I'm confident that you would find this to be a very positive place to study medicine and a place where you'd be welcomed as a student.
One of the nice parts about Loma Linda is the campus. There's a lot of space and a lot of grassy areas and flowers and trees. So there's definitely a space for you to find to study and hang out. Right now we're in front of Centennial and it's beautiful out. And these trees get really wonderful in the fall. But here's a place where students like to study and eat lunch and just take some time outside in between classes or on a break. Lots of times you'll see people out here playing frisbee or throwing a football or something like that, and it's just a good time. I'm continually impressed by the little hidden spots that I can find and places that I can find to make my own while I'm here. All right, here we are at the center of campus, which is appropriate because spirituality really is at the center of what we do here at Loma Linda, to provide whole person care and to continue the teaching and healing ministry of Jesus. So right here we have the sanctuary, and over here we have the new chapel. So you'll spend time here going to chapels during your coursework. It's a great time during the week to recenter and refocus and remember why we're here and what we want to do with our careers. All right, here's where the center of the School of Medicine is. This is where all the administrative offices are. It's connected to the hospital, it's connected to the conference center, and if you would have been here in person, we would have interviewed you right in here. So this is where you'll go for some certain meetings, or if you need to go to the dean's office to ask them a question or things like that. But yeah, School of Medicine, Coleman Pavilion. Well, here we are inside Alumni Hall, and one of the best parts about being a second year is that you get access to the study corrals. So during the stressful time studying for STEP and during the second year coursework, you have access, and you and only your second year classmates have access to these areas to study. So it's a nice place to go after classes are done to kind of get up to speed on your material, or to come during your dedicated time to study for STEP. And here we are in a different part of Alumni. This is the micro lab. During your first 2 years, you'll spend time here looking at histology, as well as microbes and growing microbes, and as well as doing things like a phlebotomy lab where we take each other's blood and learn how to do that. So it's a lot of fun anytime you get to come in here. Here we are inside the library. People studying, so I gotta be quiet. But this is another one of my favorite places to study. There's plenty of tables to sit at. There's all kinds of outlets, so no matter what you need to charge, you can do it. And then there's really good windows and natural lighting, which helps me feel like I'm not trapped in a dungeon or something. But there's a basement floor if you like the dungeon feel. But it's just a nice place to study. It's just silent on the top floor, some talking on the second floor, and variable on the bottom floor. But it's a good time, a good place to study with good views. Welcome to Small Amphitheater. This is where first years take all their classes. Anything that you're going to learn in the first year is going to happen in here. You'll be here with all your classmates, and it's a lot of fun. There's great places to study in here. There's ample room, and it's a nice spot. And it's a brand new building. Well, it's a very new building, so everything feels and is fresh. And speaking of classes, I think you're really going to like Loma Linda's new curriculum. We've spent a lot of time working on it, and what it really does is integrate all that we're supposed to learn in the first 2 years and make sure that it's covered in such a way that we'll remember it for the long term.
So we're looking at a curriculum transformation, and I think in the history of the school, we haven't made that many substantive changes to the curriculum. We've attempted to transform our curriculum in several ways and for several reasons. We want to maintain excellent clinicians. We want to maintain exceptional clinical doctors, and we think that that's something that we're known for. We have had excellent academic outcomes, and we'd like to maintain those. We want to produce caring, competent, and compassionate physicians, and we want to follow the trend that's happening within boards and across the country, and that is integrating basic science and clinical science more effectively together. We'd also look at the clinical years and would like to more effectively have them go back to their foundational knowledge in basic science. So those are some of the things that we'd like to accomplish with the curriculum change. When all said and done, we really want to make sure that we're creating a graduate that is prepared for the world that they're going to be facing. We want to make sure that they're prepared to serve the world around them, whether it's locally or globally.
I think the most obvious change that we're making in this curriculum renewal is the way that we organize our curriculum. So instead of the students taking 8 separate courses that run year-long based on disciplines, they'll be taking organ system blocks that are integrated across the disciplines. They'll basically have 8 different organ system blocks, and it'll be bookended by a foundations block at the beginning of year 1, and then an application/integration block at the end of year 2. And what this allows the students to do is take the abnormal and the normal together. They won't be separating normal physiology from pathophysiology anymore. The students will have weekly quizzes every Friday. This will allow them to be a little more motivated to keep up with their studying, but it'll also give them feedback earlier on, because we'll be discussing the answers to the quizzes, and we'll know who are struggling and who need a little bit more help and a little more attention before they hit the exams. Instead of an exam week every few weeks, there will be just an exam day every 4 to 6 weeks. With the extra time, now that there won't be quite as many exams, we'll have 5 weeks in the first year and 4 weeks in the second year, in which we can break them up into 1 to 2 week segments in between each of the blocks and have time for reflection, time for resilience training, time for service learning, and several other exciting opportunities.
One of the things in the third year that has been fairly evident is the opportunity for students to have more flexibility in career exploration. So we've given them 2 extra weeks of electives to be able to seek out opportunities to look at other specialties, to be able to explore other avenues in medicine. We've added 2 weeks of what we call integration weeks into the third year, and these are weeks where all the students come back together, and we are focusing on lifestyle medicine. We're focusing on religion and spirituality, ethics, social determinants of health, and I am super excited to be able to offer these programs to our students.
We have been working on our new curriculum for over 3 years, and it's been a very robust process with input from multiple stakeholders and review of the literature and visiting multiple schools for ideas. And we're very excited about this new curriculum, which we're planning to launch in August of 2020. Our world and our learners have changed. It's changed all of us. Technology and the internet and the way that medicine is delivered has changed. It's now much more collaborative and team-based, and we need to prepare our learners for changing medicine and the delivery of healthcare. So that's a big part of why we wanted to change. Another reason that we wanted to change is that we really wanted a renewed focus on our mission and our heritage. So yes, we've always really been known for whole person care, but now we desire to weave whole person care throughout 4 years of the curriculum. So religion traditionally has been offered to our students in the freshman and sophomore year. In our new curriculum, we're planning to have it in the third year as well, so that when students are seeing difficult things and dealing with their first patient dying, they have an opportunity to meet with both religion and clinical faculty and talk through the process and what they're feeling. So we are reorganizing how we're delivering the content in the first 2 years, and this slide shows you our new curriculum, where the students are going to be learning integrated across topics all at once. So for example, in March of their freshman year, they're going to have the cardiovascular block, and in that block they will learn the anatomy, the physiology, the biochemistry, the pharmacology, the pathophysiology, all woven together in one course. We're hoping that this promotes integration of the material so that they learn it better and more for the long term. We're also hoping that it decreases student stress, because instead of trying to keep their grades up in 8 individual courses, they now have 1 course. The other thing I'll point out is that the students actually have times where they go to the ward during this time and see patients, and they have selectives where they're able to choose areas that they're interested in and wanting to take a deeper dive in, such as lifestyle medicine.
All right, I'm here with Dr. Nava, the freshest dresser on campus, and also the vice chair of the former vice chair of the anatomy department. Right. One of the foremost anatomy experts at Loma Linda University. He's the best, honestly, and he's here to tell us a little bit about where you'll spend your time when you're taking anatomy.
Thank you, Gabriel. Where we are, we're standing in the area before the labs, and this is referred to as the William and Rose Swatek Anatomy Center. And this is the location where all of the incoming students that have gross anatomy in their curriculum will spend a good share of their time. And there are labs that are devoted to medicine, dentistry, PT, OT, nurse anesthetists, etc., that type of thing. So once they get card access to the laboratories, they have 24/7 access to it. So they have a allotted time for their labs, but we know that they can't get everything done in that period of time, and so they have additional time at their leisure to come in and study.
All right, welcome to inside the anatomy lab now. This is a place where I've spent countless hours. Dr. Nava spent just a little bit more than me, huh? But this is one of the best places to learn. You really learn in class and in the books at first, but then just being hands-on on the bodies is how you get to understand how everything interacts and where things are in relation to each other, and it's just one of the most valuable experiences in your first 2 years. So Dr. Nava is going to tell us a little bit more about what we do in the anatomy lab and some of his favorite parts. Dr. Nava?
Yeah, thank you, Gabriel. Yes, we're in an anatomy lab, as he said, and each one of the labs we have down here is set up just like this one here. We have teaching stations, and what we mean by a teaching station is where there's one donor, and then the students have access to that. And the way we run our course for the medical students, we have what is referred to as peer teaching, and we divide the class into 2 groups, an A and B group, and so we have 6 students on a cadaver, but only 3 dissect at one time, the A group and then the B group. And they do their dissection, whatever the group it is, A or B group, they do their dissection, and then at the next meeting, they have to get together with the other group and teach them what they taught, okay? What they dissected and what they learned. And so that's how we run our course. So they flip-flop back and forth doing peer teaching, and that seems to work very well because it improves the faculty-student ratio, and in addition to that, it forces the students to learn the information and teach their colleagues.
All right, I'm at the Sim Center right now with Lance and Vanessa. Vanessa, what goes on here? What do we get to do as medical students?
So basically, here at the Simulation Center, the medical students get to experience the patient environment similar to what they would have over at our medical center and children's hospitals. Upon entering a patient room, you won't find, you may not always find a human patient, you'll find one of our mannequin patients. Our mannequin patients are like our real patients at our hospital. As you can see, he is breathing and he's blinking. He can become responsive with giving us yes and no answers to questions. And he can stop breathing. We could start practicing procedures on him and helping us learn to have a hands-on experience.
Cool. What do you think what do students find most valuable about using the Simulation Center?
It's a great introduction into interacting with your patient directly, accompanied with, observing in rotations and seeing what's going on directly in the field, and then coming here and having your own experience. You're almost having a double experience from different angles. So what you see there, you could start applying in what you're learning in your classrooms.
That makes sense. And what, so you can feel pulses, what kinds of things can the...
Yeah, so our mannequins, their pupils could dilate, they can cry, they have ducts that are just on each side of their eye there. You could feel for pulses on them in several different locations. You'll also notice that his chest is rising as he's breathing. He can cough, he could respond. He has an IV that's also started on his arm, so you can provide medications to him via IV. All of the medical equipment in our simulation center is real and what we have over at our medical center and children's hospital currently. So students can also learn how to use the defibrillator, for example, that's found in the hospital, as well as our patient beds, learning how to operate just basic equipment. They could have the opportunity to learn that as well. Our mannequins are fully anatomically correct exterior-wise, so you could practice catheters, IVs. You could do everything exterior. We don't do surgery on our mannequins because it's like a robot inside. It'd be too
expensive.
But the really cool thing is that when you open up one of these mannequins, it's also anatomically correct with them having ribs, lungs, on top of the mechanics of the electronics of it. So it's really neat to see the inside.
That is neat.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, we could feel, again, pulses. They just don't come out of the bed and move.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things.
We can get real people for that, right?
Exactly, and we can get real people for that, which we also use. Those are called standardized patients.
Awesome.
So they are people who are professional actors. They know their role front to back and know how to respond when they're being asked questions fact, we even give them a walkie-talkie earpiece so we could
Nice.
give them answers if they're, you know, getting different questions that they're not sure of answering. And I had mentioned our adults don't move as far as, like, some of them can have seizures. So that is some movement that they can have. Our babies, mannequins, they do move as well, but they have full range motion. So they could, their arms and their legs move. They also have seizures. He turns blue when he's not breathing. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
They have so many different functions.
That's awesome.
And as technology develops more, we get more functions, so it's always a lot of fun.
And you said that you can practice delivering babies on some of these mannequins
Yes,
too?
that is correct. So we have different mannequins with different functions, which one of them is a labor and delivery mannequin that has a vaginal delivery. She does that completely on her own, so it's a hydraulic system that pushes the baby out. And it has different scenarios, so there's like shoulder dystocia, there's a regular vaginal, there's just different complications. We also control the vitals that are on the screens of the patient monitor to change their, you know, their health and their conditions also.
That's cool. That's the part I've experienced is we came in here for pharmacology.
Yes.
And someone had asthma, so we gave them a beta blocker, or not beta blocker. We gave them albuterol.
Yes.
And then, so when we gave them albuterol, like we could see things change, like the heart rate went up a little bit, but their breathing got better. It was crazy.
Yes,
so it was really fun.
So with simulation, there's always somebody watching and listening. There's different cameras in the room and angles we're listening and watching so that the patient can follow treatment as what they're being given.
Yeah, it was really helpful.
Yeah.
And so when you come in here as a third and fourth year, they record you. Do you get to kind of watch yourself or your team and use that to better yourself?
That capability is available. So, you know, there may only be 2 or 3 people that are involved with the simulation and 2 or 3 others that are watching in the debriefing room, learning from your experience as well. So you're getting multiple experiences. They could also provide different simulation scenarios. So not everyone's having to go through the same, you know, the same cycle of learning.
Gotcha.
Hi, my name is Ariel Fennison and I am a 4th year graduating in the class of 2022. I'm here in the SIM Center in Centennial Building with Vanessa to explain to us a little bit about our new virtual and augmented reality that we're going to be using in the future. Vanessa?
Hi, thank you for interviewing me, Ariel. My name is Vanessa. I'm a simulation technician here with Loma Linda University. We have a really cool new feature here on our campus at the Simulation Center, which is actually our augmented and virtual reality software that allows us to create simulations in that environment. So for those of you that might not be familiar with that sort of environment, our students are basically able to be immersed into a video game environment, but much like real life, to practice the skills and get acquainted with those environments that they may not have experience in, like in real life situations such as a bus accident or a car accident or a pedestrian versus auto. Those kind of environments are things that we're not typically exposed to, and in the world we live in, there is a high chance that that can become something that you might find yourself helping in. So with the help of our goggles to bring that reality in, we use green screens and provide the students that experience, and actually treating our mannequins, providing you know, stop the bleed or tourniquets or just the safety they need to have to prepare them to help who they're helping out here.
Wow, that sounds really cool. I know we're all really excited when this gets up and running and to use it, like you said, being able to practice things that we normally wouldn't see until we're in those real life situations.
Right. The fun thing is that it's not only just like the environment that's augmented that you're seeing. There's a really heavy reality of that with other people involved, like a bus driver or a bystander who's interfering or asking questions, you know. So there's a lot of other things that incorporate in a human factor, even though it is virtual reality and or augmented, that we could add to that in addition to treating with our mannequin.
Very cool. Sounds really exciting, and thank you for all the help that you do in augmenting our learning.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Here we are at the DRAYSON Center, one of the most fun places to come when you need to get some exercise and blow off some steam. They have pools, they have soccer fields, softball fields, they have a turf field if you want to play football or frisbee. There's outdoor sand volleyball, there's racquetball, there's pickleball, there's tennis, there's indoor basketball, there's a track outside and a track inside. Anything you need, we got it here. And if you want to explore a little bit outside of Loma Linda, there's all kinds of places that are within arm's reach. So you can go to Disneyland, that's fun. You can go to Laguna Beach or San Diego within an hour and a half, 2 hours, if you want to get some surfing in or just play some spike ball on the beach. You can go to Big Bear if you want to do camping or hiking or skiing or mountain biking. And then there's Joshua Tree if you're into climbing. And then if you want to make a little bit longer drive, you can go up to more of where I'm from, around Fresno area, and you can go to Yosemite, which is beautiful. I highly recommend that. And if you go a little bit further, still within a day, you can get to San Francisco, see the Golden Gate Bridge. Really all kinds of things around here, and I think you'll have a lot of fun when you're not studying. All right guys, that's the end of our tour. Thanks for joining me and for exploring Loma Linda. We're really happy that you're interested. I've had a great time here and I know that you'll enjoy it too. Right now I'm just starting my 3rd year and the patient experiences are totally worth it. So if anyone ever tries to talk you out of medicine, don't let them. It's a good time. Thanks for watching this whole video and for making it all the way to the end. If you see me on campus and you say, hey, I remember you from the video and I made it to the end, I'll buy you a coffee or some sort of snack from the cafeteria and we can have a little chat. So if you see me around, say hi. All right, I hope to see you here in the fall.